What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV, aka Darth Apocalypse. All right, so let's get to this. So I know a lot of you guys are kind of antsy right now. We're in the middle of summer, and it's not a really good time right now for sports. I know you got Major League Baseball out there. But even with Major League Baseball, it doesn't really start getting good until about the playoffs. Then most of us the ones who do follow baseball, will pay more attention to it then. Other than that, we got to wait for the NFL. And that's not going to start, the season at least, until another 2 weeks or so. By the way, I'm going to try again to follow the NFL. But it's difficult. We got a lot of different things going on. Video requests, things that I'm already slated to talk about, basketball-wise, social stuff pops up. I got the Rumble I'm doing. So it's kind of hard to focus on the NFL. I'll try to talk about the marquee games and whatever is notable. What we're really waiting on is the NBA season to start. But that's not going to come anytime soon. We got another 2 months until the season starts. So until then, it's just much of, what can we talk about? Speculation, gossip. And of course, since LeBron James left the Lakers via free agency to sign with the Philadelphia 76ers, that's the team that the mainstream media is talking about. So there's speculation about how well this team will perform this year. And despite the fact that this is the most talented offensive team that he's ever played on, right? You get the sense that they know that LeBron's the type of guy that does not uplift players around him. They have to adjust to him. And even Brian Windhorst talked about this recently. So he basically tried to tamp down expectations for this team, saying that he thinks that the Sixers are going to win, I believe, about 48 games. So they're going to go 48-34 according to him, which is interesting because Jaylen Brown, who was not considered an MVP level player by most people, led Boston to 56 wins last year, despite the fact they didn't have the supposed better player in Jason Tatum, sidelined with Achilles rupture. They lost Mike Muscala, right? They lost Drew Holiday. They lost Kristaps Porzingis, right? They lost Al Horford. But they still won 56 games. So this is the great LeBron with all this talent. Why only 48 games, Brian Windhorst? But it is what it is.
Dad, I'm just going to say, in the last 9 years, you know how many times LeBron's teams have gone over 50 and a half?
Last 9 years. That's interesting. How many?
Last 9?
So basically the Laker year and the last year in Cleveland. Laker tenure in the last year in Cleveland.
What, once?
Twice.
Oh.
Once was 52.
Wow.
Now, the COVID years, they were shortened, but even if you go out the percentages. So, LeBron hasn't been on powerhouse regular season teams for a while now. Again, he is making the minimum. He is not going to necessarily be the driving force night in and night out that he has been. And I agree with your sentiment, McMahon.
Wait, they won 53 last year.
Yeah, he could go back farther.
Okay. That's interesting.
It's only the second time.
Wow.
I'll just say that I think they can be an excellent team and very formidable and win 48 games. Because I think 48 wins in the Eastern Conference is going to be a great season this year. So I'm going to go under. I think it's just a safe, because you don't know about Embiid, and you don't know about health and all the other stuff. I think it's just safe to go under. I think probably going under on the Sixers has probably been a profitable position, frankly. But I don't say it controversially. I just think and not only that, like LeBron's teams, when he's changed teams, they've tended to get off to slower starts. When he went to Miami, they started 9-8. They obviously ended up fine, but when they went back to Cleveland, they started 19-20. When he went to the Lakers, I mean, again, I don't want to make it sound like all of these are all equal, because I know this is a different situation. But went to the Lakers, they missed the playoffs the first year. So learning to play with LeBron takes a while. So.
Okay, let's clean it up a little bit. Let's clean it up a little bit. See, this is why I really get annoyed by the media. So he makes everybody around him better, but yet playing with LeBron initially, it's a struggle. Funny, because Jason Kidd, and all of us who remember Jason Kidd in the 90s and early 2000s know this. When Jason Kidd was in his prime, or any part of his career, even if he wasn't part of his prime, he still helped teams. But especially in his prime, you put Jason Kidd on a team, and they improved dramatically. When he was drafted by the Dallas Mavericks, they went from 13 victories to 36. When he was traded to the Phoenix Suns in the late 90s, they went from being a team that was in post-Charles Barkley rebuild, I think barely missed the playoffs, to being a team that at the very least was making the playoffs perennially. But his greatest feat was when he went to the New Jersey Nets, and he was traded essentially for Stephon Marbury. And I remember at that time, a lot of people thought, man, because Marbury was perceived to be, for a while, especially because of the 2001 All-Star performance that he had, right? And then when he had a 50-point game against the Lakers, he was perceived to be the better of the two players, naively by many people, right? And the year before, when he left the Nets, people said, well, he just had no talent around him. I think the Nets won like 26 games. 26, 27 games. Jason Kidd gets traded there, and they win 50 games. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, that may still be the last time the Brooklyn Nets have won 50 games in a season. That's an impact player. But let's look at this. When LeBron James joined the Cavaliers draft, they had to move the roster around. Players had to adjust to him. Zydrunas Ilgauskas was a traditional post center, fringe all-star level player some years, 18 points, 7 rebounds, or 8 rebounds a game, right? But what happened? When LeBron James joined the team, he became more and more of a jump shooter. They had to get rid of Carlos Boozer, some of these other guys, because he wasn't a good fit for LeBron James. Ricky Davis got to get out of there because he wasn't a good fit. You had to get his version of Scottie Pippen with Larry Hughes for him to start making the playoffs. So the Cavaliers got off to a slow start. They missed the playoffs their first 2 years. Then when he goes to Miami, like he said, they struggled initially. Why? Well, because LeBron couldn't play off the ball. Wade had to change his game. Bosh had to change his game. Especially Bosh. So like he said, it got off to a slow start. Then when he goes back to Cleveland, I distinctly remember that. They were 19 and 20. Why? Because Kevin Love, especially, plus I think LeBron got off to a slow start that year too, as far as efficiency by his standards and turning the ball over and shit. It took them a while to figure it out. They were really struggling. Then he goes to the Lakers. Tell the truth, the Lakers weren't shit until they acquired Anthony Davis. And in the seasons in which they did win 50 games with LA, it was mostly because of a healthy Anthony Davis and Luka Doncic and then Austin Reeves being there. Let's tell the truth. It didn't really have that much to do all the time with LeBron. When we look at the advanced metrics, the last couple of years with Lakers, he's been a detriment to the team. So when you think about it, yeah, it does apply. It does make sense that if he joins this team, especially putting him at the point guard, they're going to struggle again. And they're going to have all these excuses when the reality is he just doesn't make players around him better. You have to adjust to him, and he gets all the fucking praise. I don't understand why these guys want to play with him. I honestly don't. I don't get it, y'all. But, it is what it is. I saw they had some workout recently that was put out there on social media. I don't care to watch it. Tell me what you guys think.